This is an explicit podcast where we try to keep the conversations as raw and authentic as possible with no intentions of hurting anyone. So if you're very woke, religious, or sensitive, we highly recommend you do not tune in. Alright guys, let's get it podcast. This is episode 57. We have Dr. Ima in the house. Animal doctor, veterinarian. Thanks for coming, Dr. Ima.
Thank you, Brian, for having me here today.
All good, all good. Let's start from the beginning. Have you always been an animal lover?
Yeah, I guess so. I can say that.
What was it? Like, I'm sure there had to be like a moment in your life where you realized, like, okay, I want to go to animal doctor school. So how did it all start?
Actually, it started when I was small. My father is an animal lover. He really loved cats, especially. One day, he brought in a kitten, a black kitten. Okay.
Yeah,
He brought in a black kitten. That was our first cat lah. Yeah, first cat lah actually. So we had him for about 6 years, and of course during that time he fall sick and whatsoever. So one day, towards the end he died, and it really saddened me, and I think that I have to do something. I have to help these creatures that's voiceless, cannot seek for help, kan? So I thought that I have to be someone.
So how old were you when like your cat passed away or during that time?
I think it's when I was in my high school. I think tingkatan 2 like that lah.
Okay. You know, it's funny, like I'm an animal lover, right? But I still remember the moment where I turned from just liking to look at animals and to actually caring about them. I had a pug and a husky. Husky was later on. I had a pug when I was very young. So I remember the first 7 years of my pug's life. Apart from the part where he was still a puppy. You know, when puppy very cute, right? Everyone want to play.
Yeah.
Then children, especially, they lose interest, you know, with their new toy like that. So I didn't really. And then my pug had very bad flea and ticks problem. So we had to always put him behind the house, and he had fleas everywhere, on the eyes, the whole body, you know, the whole face, all ticks. The vet came over and then recommended some tick spray, those stuff, you know, and then some medicine to give the dog lah. It never worked, you know. Maybe it reduced for a while, or I think it came and go. Yeah, but anyways, it didn't work for the most part. So that was a good, I think, 3 years of the pug's life. We didn't give it much attention, you know. Just didn't know how to love animals properly. So we bought. I remember we watched. There was this Disney film, Snow Dogs. I'm sure you remember that one, right? Yeah. So Snow Dogs. I remember watching it with my siblings a lot of times, and then like a switch just flipped, you know. And then we started to love dogs, and that's of course the reason why we got a husky. A few years later. But I remember from then on, I learned to really spend time with the dog and care for him, and more importantly, look at the dog as if, I like to think of it as they're just like humans, except a little less intelligent and it's true, it's just a little, but they're really like humans. True. They're very smart. What solved the tick problem, right? We went to a pet shop and they just bought a flea collar, which cost like 20-30 ringgit, you know, so that solved the whole problem, and I found it quite weird. Anyways, since you're a vet, could you explain what actually happened?
Actually, I can't really tell you much about that. I mean, that specific situation, because I might not know what are the previous histories, the exact condition of your dog, right? But basically, it depends. Sometimes, we have like lots of medications, and then it depends on the environment condition as well. For example, if you are putting medication for your dogs, but the environment still not treated, so sometimes the ticks or the fleas might get back to them.
I see. Because as long as there are fleas around, right, it doesn't matter what type of medicine you put, they will still come in.
Yes.
But funny enough, the flea collar, we put it on and then put it on for a couple of years, and it just never had fleas ever.
So because probably the medication on the collar might last longer, and then the what we call it as certain medicine have like the duration of effectiveness. So sometimes they are like I said, there are multiple choices of medicine that are available over the counter or probably from your vets. So you have to really know which one really responsive or effective lah.
Would you say, in short, the vet didn't do a good job?
I don't know. I can't say that. Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because I don't know what kind of medication that has been given. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So back to you were telling me. Your cat passed away. You were in high school. So
Yes.
yeah. Then how come you suddenly want to go to animal vet school?
Because I believe that we have initially I wanted to be a medical doctor.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. So and that's what my father has been encouraging me to be one lah, which is to be a doctor. So then since that, I mean, since I have a pet, and then it doesn't stop there. Every time I saw cats, stray kittens,
Yeah.
I
Go
will
and
just
talk to it and
yeah.
touch it.
Even we brought them
Yeah.
home
Uh-huh.
without my father knowing. Because usually my father said, I'm so sad I cannot have other cat because it's really devastating, heartbreaking to lose a family member like that. So, but then because we siblings really love cats,
Yeah.
so sometimes we just brought in. And then since then, I just think that we have already so many medical doctors in Malaysia.
Yeah.
So why not I still be a doctor,
Yeah.
but to these animals?
I don't know. I think for me, I feel like being maybe because I'm someone outside the industry, I just think being a vet is much more appealing to me. Maybe because I love animals. If there were two professions that I actually thought about pursuing when I was younger, right, I ended up going to business school, very general degree in management. But I actually thought, it would either be veterinarian or psychology. Those were the two because I just enjoyed life. I found it interesting.
Yeah.
Really loved animals. Yeah. So this one, I'm sure you get asked this question all the time now. Okay. Do you grow up around dogs as well? Was your family accustomed to having dogs?
Actually, no, because we're actually surrounded by people that are actually afraid of dogs. But my father, special thing about him is that he never macam what we say as takutkan the kids with don't come near dogs because they will bite you, it's haram or thing. No, never. He never said that. Because we've been staying in Scotland during I was 9 years old.
Oh, you grew up in Scotland?
Yeah, just 1.5 year because my mother, my mother continue her master in Scotland. So of course our jiran, our neighbours, most of
All
them
have
had
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah.
Even my neighbour below have dog.
It's-
So it's okay. I mean, initially I'm afraid, but then he's the one I said you can touch. If they are dry, then you don't have to wash. It's okay. Just touch.
Yeah. Did your dad also, when you were younger, was he be playing with dogs?
I'm not so sure about that,
You
but
can't remember.
he's okay with any animals.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
grew up in KL, is it?
Shah Alam,
Shah Alam area. Okay. But you spent a year in Scotland.
Scotland, 1.5 year.
Okay. It's actually, when you look at dogs in other countries, right? It's so different because you can bring them to any park, basically.
Yes.
Any park. Over here, we have specific parks.
True.
Can you bring it to Wanutama Park? I think. Is it? Do you know if that's legal?
Yang
The one at Wanutama.
One Utama, I'm not so sure. But as far as the Desa,
No.
the Desa Park is different, right?
Desa Park, yeah, definitely can. I think I've heard also in Wanutama you can. I'm not sure. Yeah. Veterinary school. How was it? The whole process.
Well, it's interesting.
Did you do it locally?
Yeah, I graduated from University Putra Malaysia in 2009. It's fun, but of course it's not easy.
Is it? How long is it actually?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So you would say it was tougher.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough, especially in the first 2 years because there's a lot of memorizing things. Yeah. So in our third year, then we're more to application, which means we already in our surgery class, more hands-ons. Yeah, it's more interesting.
So within in the veterinary school, right? What sort of different sectors do people specialize in? I don't know, so I'm just one that would like to know this.
Basically, what we learn in our vet school is more to domestic animals. For example, farm animals like cows, sheep, and goats, horses, pigs also, and chickens for avian side, and small animals, for example, cats and dogs.
So wait, you're talking about the application part or just theoretical learning that y'all would have to, or do you actually have hands-on experience with these animals?
Yeah, we have hands-on because started our third year, we already going for our practicals and volunteering.
Yeah.
So we have like different what we call it as different species practical. So every month or every cuti semester, we're not going for holidays, but we're going for our practicals. So we have like 2 weeks of small animal practicals, 2 weeks in labs, 2 weeks in horse or equine practicals, large animals, even wildlife.
Okay, so let's say for doctors, right, they have surgeons, and then they've got like all sorts of different type of doctor, aesthetic doctors, or neurosurgeon.
Yes.
But for vets, right, like, so what sort of vet are you actually?
What I can say, because I'm practicing is small animal medicine and also exotic, so I'm more to that kind of field. But yes, we have like our friends that are into equine field, equine industry. Equine is a horse.
Horse.
Yeah.
Oh, equine. They call it what?
Equine. Equine.
Okay.
Yes, horse. EQUINE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Even some of them are going to poultry industry, and
Poultry
others
is chicken.
Yeah. And also large animals, for example, the ruminants. Yeah, ruminants. Even we have like wildlife. Our friends also are involving in the perhilitan area. So we have, it depends on what we want to practice lah.
Okay.
So if you ask about do we have like surgeon, do you have like anesthetist, dentist or what? Yes, actually we do that. We as a vet we do that. I mean, we act as a dentist, we act as a surgeon, we also as GPs.
Okay, so you're saying that they're more specialized in the different sort of animals.
Yeah.
Okay, so but then of course, let's say if you're in poultry, right, you're already experienced and knowledgeable on like surgery, all those.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
oh, it's different now. It's quite
yeah,
different.
Yeah.
How long have you been working as a vet, like professionally?
14
14
years.
years now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And when did you open your first clinic? So you have two clinics, right? Serv-U and Trio Vet.
Yeah.
What's the difference actually, or are they the same, just different branding?
Actually different entity, because Serv-U is actually our own. I mean, me and my family. But Trio is initially it started with me and my friend, my classmate. So we JV. But they.
In terms of the services, is
all the same, sama je.
I see. So you said your family, you have siblings that are in are vets as well?
No, they are more to management side lah.
I see. But of course they love animals.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you lah. So when you were younger, apart from cats, right, what animals did you actually have growing up? Did you have any others?
During I was kids, just cats. But now I have like bird.
Now.
Yeah, and previously I had a reptile, which is the bearded dragon. She just passed away last year. Mushu.
How old?
Less than 1 year.
Passed away? Oh, it's definitely not because of old age.
Yeah, because it's a diseased animal.
I see.
Because actually it's my client's bearded dragon. She was sick at that moment. So they surrendered the bearded dragon to me, because they said that they want to euthanize her initially because they cannot afford to take care of her. So
they want to euthanize? Was it because it was sick?
Yeah, because they said they cannot take care of her because of
it costs a lot.
Yeah, and then the commitments, and then the owner also is quite busy, need to work outside the country. So I said it's okay, I'll take care of her until her last breath lah. So I cakap, because I don't know when. How long she will be with me, but she actually been with me for at least a year. since I took her. So I think she was around 2 years old when she died.
How are they like? Are they very like? Of course, they grow up in captive, right? So like, how do they respond with humans?
That's
They like attention, you know.
yeah. That's a bit difficult with different animals have different behavior and also response. So basically, for reptiles, as you know, it's not like so responsive like dogs and cats.
Sure.
Yeah. So basically, we can see how she respond or attentive when we are nearby. Is that
Water if you want, okay?
it's okay?
Yeah.
Is that when she hear our voice or when when we're calling her, she will respond. She will like tilt.
So she knows her name.
Yeah, she will tilt her head and then come near. So that's cool.
Okay. Any other pets you have?
No.
So how many
So
cats do you have?
Now I have
I'm sure it's more than one.
at home. Actually, I don't have cat because my cat I put in as a resident cat in our clinic.
Okay.
Because most of the time we're not at home. So
Okay.
yeah, so she's in the clinic right now as a resident cat. She's already 13 years old, still healthy, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, very
and
old.
now I'm actually adopting a pigeon.
What is the you had another bird before this? You already have
No,
another bird?
currently because I'm currently taking care of a sick bird, which was also surrendered by one of my client.
Which is this pigeon that you want to adopt?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Do
green
you have
pigeon.
another bird at home?
Oh no, that's all.
You never owned a bird before?
No.
I had a African grey
Grey
parrot.
parrot?
Yeah. Have you had to? You see, I've got all these bunch of questions, right? But I love talking
No,
about
no
animals.
problem.
So, have you had to deal with African grey parrots before?
Yeah, I have few. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Super intelligent, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this African grey parrot, right? From what I remember, I was about 14. Went to some place in Old Town, and then those pet stores, Chinese pet store. Then see the African grey parrot. It was a baby. So what's really cool about the African grey parrots, right? Up till they are 6 months old, they are still considered a baby because I think they live up till 50 years old.
Yeah. 40, 50 years.
In great conditions, favorable conditions. So up till it's 6 years old, right? The eyes. So you notice eyes of birds, it's like humans, iris and a pupil, white and black. Up till he was 6 months old, it was all black. It's so cute. It's like it kind of shows that it's a baby. Yeah. Then when it gets older, you can see both the iris and pupil.
Yeah.
At 6 months old, you still can't eat properly. I had to
You have to like tube feeding.
yeah, it's really like a baby.
Yeah.
So I had to feed it with a syringe, and it can't even talk yet. It's still learning how to control its, how to speak. Yeah. One day, so you know how these birds, right? They would clip the wings underneath, not the wings, but they'll clip certain.
feather.
Yeah.
Yeah, the primary feather.
Okay, so it's only a couple of feathers, right?
Yeah, true. It's about it depends on the size of the bird. Basically, for a large bird, probably you can go 5 to 7 feathers.
That's not many.
No, not
I mean,
much.
considering how many, but that should be enough to keep the bird from flying far distance.
Yeah.
So we clip the bird's feathers, right? I think every month or so you have to go in, or every 2 months.
It's like
or
nails
what.
lah. Basically, once you cut your nails, it will grow back, right?
Yep.
So basically, it depends on the size species of birds also. Sometimes like monthly or sometimes 3 months once. It depends.
Yeah, so we clip the wings, right? Every month or so. Then I would put we have a string. So you tie the bird to the string. So I would play with the parrot at home, right, in the garden, and I wouldn't tie him. I would let him, because it's still a baby, and then he thinks that we're its parents already. We had it for only a month plus, I think, and I would try to teach it to fly to my shoulder. Keep flying to my shoulder. He could do that. It's so cool. And then one day, my husky, my husky he's not usually caged. I mean, we put him in the behind part of the house, and then we put there's a gate there because I was playing with my parrot. But I think I forgot to lock the gate, so my husky came around the corner, and I watched this 3,000 ringgit parrot just fly away.
Oh my god!
Fly away, and I remember standing there looking at it. I'm like thinking like, oh my god, my parents are going to kill me. Like, what? Like, we were begging our parents to, please, we want to have, me and my brothers were begging our parents, please, I want to have an African grey parrot. And it flew away, and I stood there and we tried finding the parrot in the park behind, tried to find it in the taman, cannot find at all. So what I heard is, what I read is parrots, right, even though they have their wings clipped and all, if they sense danger or they're frightened, right, they will fly up to 50 kilometers in a straight direction. So they have no sense, they have no homing senses.
Yeah.
I think some birds have,
Yeah, some birds might
not
have.
parrots, right?
I'm not so sure about that, but basically, most probably, what makes your parrot might fly like able to fly like quite far, most probably the trimming of the feather also not
good.
much lah.
Or maybe it
so
was
that's
about
why,
time to
probably,
clip it again.
Yes.
Yeah, but never forget that experience. 3,000 ringgit flying away. Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah. So after that, my dad also had other birds. Those singing birds. And then actually my grandfather loved birds. So he would have a lot of bird cages in his house, and then all the birds are singing birds. They would feed the the birds chili padi so that they can sing better. You've never heard of that?
Yeah.
Maybe it's true or not. I don't know. Maybe it's some old Chinese tradition or what. But yeah, he did that, and then my dad also the other birds that he had they eventually escaped somehow. Then we kind of just realized that, man, birds are just it's hard for them to be kept in a cage. Yeah, you gotta at least let them fly around in the house.
True.
Okay, back to some questions about your profession. Yeah, okay, so I wanna touch on this. So as a Muslim, and then you're able to just play with dogs. What do you know? What exactly is for me lah? I want to know what exactly does it state like in the Quran that are you guys able or not able to do like with a dog?
Okay.
And do you consider yourself just someone who is a more open-minded Muslim?
Actually, it depends on how people are taking it. Okay. But okay, probably I'm not the right person to talk about like into depth about our religion, because I might say something that is not right.
Sure.
Okay, but basically in the surface, in the Quran they have never mentioned about dog is haram. Never. It's just that
I've heard
every
that
time,
as well.
yeah, it's just that every time we touch dogs, in Mazhab Shafi'i, because we have like 4 main mazhabs.
Sure.
Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanafi, and another one is Hanbali.
Okay.
So the 4 main mazhab. Okay, basically in Malaysia we are practicing Shafi'i. Okay, so Shafi'i is a bit strict regarding dogs. But they never mention about haram. It's just that it's filth. So we have to clean ourselves after handling or touching dogs, or if the dog lick us or eat from our bowl,
True.
then we just clean it with
if they're wet,
one part. Yeah, if they're wet, one part of the soil and rinse with 6 times of water. So that has been mentioned. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure about this as well. Is it common like today at least for like Muslim vets to be taking care of dogs or handling like dog patients?
Actually since this profession, since it has been here for quite a long time ago,
there's always been
we're handling dogs since we are studying. So
you mean so actually when you're in vet school as well, it's normal for all the Muslim
because
vets? People don't know that though, because they don't go to vet school. So
because we are handling
not a
dogs
big
a
thing,
lot. Because
I see.
Because usually our samples, our animals that we need to go for study, do surgeries also in dogs.
Yeah, because I mean they are dogs. If you are not able to handle dogs right, you are kind of not even nearly as useful in that profession, because that's the majority of your what do you call your the is it patients the dogs? We call them patients, right? This majority of your patients is going to be dogs.
Yeah.
So okay, but it's a hot topic lah. But then actually it's a very normal thing for you guys in vet school, right?
Yeah, because what I'm aware is that most of the people, they don't understand what veterinarian do, what is our profession is all about, because they thought that, oh, you just cuddle cute animals, cats only, for example, that kind of things. But they don't know what actually we're learning in our school. Actually, we also have this practical in swine practical, which is the pig. We went there. We have.
So you handle pigs as well?
Yeah. We handle,
okay.
yes.
Wow. No, I would have never.
Do you
guessed
remember? There's in 2008. There's something that is very, viral lah. About a lady wearing tudung.
Yep.
Taking pictures with pig.
Can't remember. A couple of years back.
Yeah, it's quite long time ago.
Yeah. What happened? A lot of bad
Yeah, it's quite negative. There's lots of negative comments on the pictures.
Like
and the
she's
photos.
touching the pig, is it?
Yeah,
Handling
she's holding the pig.
Oh, piglet.
The piglet. But actually, it was me. I was doing my practical during my school, during my vet school.
You
So
handle a lot of piglets.
yeah, so we have
So cute.
yeah, we took pictures for personal keeping kan. But then someone like post it in the emails and say something bad about that. But,
So you got a lot of heat from that lah.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I went and searched like animal news in Malaysia, right? Everything is all bad lah. It's all the bad. You only hear bad news, It's like abuse cases.
Yes,
This stuff.
cruelty.
So Muslims, right, in Malaysia, they are scared of dogs. There's actually a lot of them that they're not scared. They just know that they're not supposed to be around it. But also, why do you think a lot of them are scared? Is it because they've been taught by their parents or what? It's just in the culture that they've been telling them that it's scary.
Yeah, actually, it's a mixture of that. It's a mixture of the culture that we cannot be near dogs. It's haram. You cannot even touch dogs, or it's sinful to touch dogs, that kind of things. And one more is, of course, the fear of dogs, which sometimes it's not sometimes. I think all the times people might say, "Oh, the dog will bite you. You will get rabies," that kind of things.
No, that's why that thought, right, of the dog will bite you, right? I feel like it's because they're very not informed, because dogs are pretty much the most loyal animal, right? Okay, if you include humans as well, right? Humans are animals. Dogs are the most loyal animals in the whole world. More loyal than humans.
True.
Yeah. Of course, there are dogs that will bite you, but that's because they're angry or they feel threatened. I got bitten by a dog one time. I remember I was with my oh my god, this is funny. So I was with my helper, my Filipino helper, right? So we went to her friend's house, just somewhere down the road. Okay, she had a couple of buddies. They ran a place down the road. So I was 6 years old. She had a dog there. They had a dog there. Sorry. I stood there and then they were playing cards or something. I stood there and I stared at the dog. I looked into the dog's eye for, I don't know, 10 minutes. I'm just standing there. I'm the only kid. They're all adults. And the dog bit me in my arm. I love dogs. I always like dogs. I don't know why I didn't touch it, but I was acting weird myself, So I looked at the dog and yeah, of course the dog is going to bite you. You're this intruder in their house. They've never seen you before and you're staring right at it. So that's when I learned like,
you cannot see the dog directly through their eyes.
Think about this. Let's say if you go to a cafe, right? Or you go to someone's house and this person stands there and look at you and stare at you for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You would at least ask him slap him and say, what's your problem?
Yeah,
right?
true.
So that was me, I was 6 years old. My maid, so she brought me she was so panicked because she didn't want to tell my parents. They took garlic, right, and start rubbing it on the wound. Is there any benefit to that? Of course, I'm not sure if they know. Is there?
I'm not sure. I'm not so sure about that, but probably.
You think so?
Garlic have probably some antibiotic activities that might help lah. But I don't know specifically.
Well, this same helper of mine, right? She had a fish bone stuck in her throat. She went over to one of the neighbors' house and borrowed their cat. Take the cat's tail and start.
Oh.
Yeah, and then she was telling me like it's a miracle the bone went inside. She swallowed the bone. It's not stuck there anymore.
Oh.
So is there any logic to that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but probably we can do something about it. probably some research or anything that related.
Yeah, but I don't see it. I don't see the how it relates.
Yeah.
Just one of those things. Okay. What are some of the... So right now at your veterinary practice, right? Okay. Dogs, cats, most common animals that you deal with, patients. Apart from those, like what are the top 5?
Beside cats and dogs, we have also like birds. Various breeds and species of birds, breeds, and then rabbits and other small pockets animals. For example, the guinea pigs, the sugar gliders, hedgehog. Yeah, we have that. It's quite common in our practice. And others are quite rare. For example, someone also bring in ducks.
Ducks.
Yeah, goose.
Those are farm
ostrich.
animals. Yeah. Ostrich.
Yes, ostrich.
But wait, what is like? How do you have an ostrich? It's not even. Is that legal?
Actually, yes. It's for. I think it's for, like a mini pet zoo.
Oh,
something
petting
like that.
zoo. It's a petting zoo.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a work pet.
Yeah. Basically, it's for more for exhibition, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but do you think it's legal if you just own a ostrich at home?
I don't know about
You
that.
don't know, right?
Yeah. I think as long as you have, I don't know whether they need like a permit or license for that. I'm not so sure about that also.
This is another. That's why I want to ask. Actually, I'm sure you see a lot of weird animals that you probably think that are not. That is someone's just their pet, a personal pet, but you would think like, I have no idea if that's legal.
Yeah.
Monkeys. I'm sure you've had monkeys.
Yeah.
So these are people's pets, right?
True. Some people take it as pets, but actually in Malaysia it's not permissible to have most of the monkeys as pets. Kecuali but for long tail macaque, basically they are having it in like Kelantan, Terengganu and Kedah for to get the coconut.
Oh, they're work pets.
Yeah. That one they can get permit for that. But for pets, if I'm not mistaken, it's illegal. You cannot have them as pets. Yeah.
So when I was young, I had a friend that had a monkey. They would just in where I stay down the road also, they would put the monkey in the garden and then tie it to a pole, and the monkey is just there. And I always felt so weird. Like first of all, it's not common. You don't see that. Or you see a lot of, actually. Do you know where Kiara Park is? Kiara Park.
Yeah.
There's a park right there. So there's a lot of monkeys there, but yeah, suddenly you see a monkey. Actually, in TTDI, right, there's also monkeys. You see them every now and then, but to see a monkey at someone's house, what other exotic animals are you
reptiles? We have.
Sure.
Yeah, we have turtles. We have snakes, and other apa tu? What we call it as we have iguana. We have cicak punya family kan?
Oh, salamanders.
Salamanders.
What did they call
We have the geckos.
Yeah, what do they call that? I can't remember. It's the family, right?
No.
Newts, is it? Not newts.
Got also.
Okay. So these type of, right? I'm always curious, right? This type of reptiles, right? At first glance, you don't think that they're not like dogs or cats. They don't. Maybe they're not so tame towards humans. So they bring their pets to foreign place. The vet clinic. Actually, how do these reptiles react to doctors?
Actually, they're quite okay. Basically, if you know how to handle them, they're very delicate. Yes. But usually, I will request the owner's help to at least restrain them for checkup.
Restrain? What do you... What?
Restrain, hold them.
Oh, they will have to be there the whole time.
Yeah. Because it's very important for the owner to be there so that their pets will remain calm and they will not be like very anxious and afraid.
But the nowadays there's the internet, right? You see all sorts of crazy things or just unique relationships that humans have, right? Even let's say, for example, right, wild tigers, wild bears, right? They're not born in captive, they're in the wild, and you have humans that have relationships with them. I think that's really amazing. I think one of the more crazy ones I've seen is this dude in Philippines or in Indonesia. Yeah. Maybe you've probably seen this. He's like best friends with a crocodile. Yeah.
the one that
It's an Indonesian guy.
He went to the river feeding and kissing the crocodile.
He swim
right?
with it. That's not the craziest part. Craziest part is the wife got pissed off because he spends all the time with the crocodile, and he left the wife.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's
just
so,
because of the crocodile.
Yeah, it's just okay. That is, I don't know. Who knows what else is going on, lah? But yeah, that is so weird, right?
Yeah.
So what actually the other side of it is this crocodile. Okay, maybe this would make more sense. This crocodile had a very bad injury. I think he had a gunshot wound. His right eye or left eye was blind. Yeah. So he got nursed back to health for months with this by this Indonesian dude. The Indonesian guy set the crocodile free after the crocodile was nursed back to health. The crocodile showed up every day because he lived in around the jungle there. Yeah, so the crocodile would always show up at his house every day. Some people say that maybe the crocodile has some sort of very bad brain injury already, so he just doesn't know how to attack people, or he lost his senses like that. or maybe if you want to be hopeful, you can think that maybe he just appreciates the help.
Yeah, I think I'm more to the second opinions, which is some animals are actually very appreciative lah. Yeah, they can remember people or any other creatures that actually help them because
but the thing is, we see that commonly in mammals, right?
True.
But reptiles are, people just sort of think that they are more like hostile and they're just maybe not as intelligent. I mean, crocodiles are millions of years old.
Yes,
been around forever. Yeah. But mammals, you see it all the time. On the, let's say they are crossing the road, and then they would stop a car or ask for help because they have one of their young is trapped somewhere or what, and they'll ask humans for help.
Yes.
Those sort of thing. And then I've actually seen a video. You see, right nowadays, right, just looking at shorts, reels and all, right, there's so many, it's endless of animals and really, really fascinating videos. So this deer, mouse, what do you call a baby deer? What do you call a baby deer? A deer is young. I can't remember.
I also can't remember.
But a baby deer. This person followed the deer, and then he helped the deer get the baby out of this net it was stuck in. The deer literally can see, the body language, telling the baby deer to go over to the human and say thank you.
Oh.
That was so cute, So he walked over to the human and it's like saying thank you and all. Yeah, then they just go back into the wild, Yeah.
It's fascinating. Alright. No, usually nowadays we can see like lots of interesting things related to animals and human bonds.
Let's say just for fun, if you could have any pet, any animal as a pet, do you ever think about that? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. Okay. So what's on your list?
What kind of animals?
That you would have as a pet, right? Illegal or not illegal? We're just saying if.
Actually, I really wanted to have a dog at home.
Oh, you don't? I'm surprised that you don't have a dog.
Yeah, I don't have because based on our religion also we cannot keep dog
in the house.
In the house we cannot. But for guard dog or for our safety, yes we can.
Make it a guard dog. Hey, I want to ask your husband, right? Does he also play with dogs? Does he touch them?
He's quite afraid of dog.
He's afraid.
Yeah, he's afraid of dog. But so far he's very supportive. I mean, he's always reminding me, just always take care every time you want to handle your patients, because we know that our patients are very unpredictable and unexpected.
Yeah, of course.
And sometimes we might not know what will happen.
So has that ever happened? Let's say a dog bites you because they feel they're in a hostile territory.
I've been bitten once, but not deep lah. During my last year.
A dog.
Yeah, a dog. It's a dog with an owner, but the owner also already told me that the dog is quite precious.
What type of dog? Sorry.
It's a mixed breed. It's a local breed lah.
Okay, so like street dog basically.
Yeah. It's rescued dogs, and the owner also said that this dog is quite rough lah.
So the thing about rescue dogs, right? They are so different than any dog that belongs to an owner or was born in a house. Okay, you just imagine humans. If you are humans that's his whole life he's lived a very, very tough life on the streets, or maybe call it the hood, right? You do have this sort of let's say I would want to compare to myself, right? I'm someone who's lived a very privileged life, right? I'm not the same as someone who grew up in the streets, or had a very rough life. Maybe when maybe for someone like that, or a dog that's in the streets, he's always have to defend himself against random people that would just attack him or throw things on him. It's gonna happen in Malaysia.
Yes,
as you mentioned, a lot of Muslims are afraid and they think that the dog is a threat. But I truly believe that apart from being food, right, for animals, they're not. If you don't disturb them, they're not going to disturb you.
Actually, because what I see is that our people don't understand the body language of the dogs, and they don't understand what we should not do to the dogs. And what I can see, most of us actually they're afraid of dogs because of the thought that the dog might chase them or bite them. But actually, if they're not interrupted, basically they won't do anything. Yeah, and then if you don't run, you don't like throw things on them, actually they won't bother you.
If you act scared and you run, they will chase you.
Yeah.
Some would chase you.
Yeah, some would chase because basically they can sense our fear, and if you run, that's the nature of the dog to chase.
Yeah.
Things that are moving.
They might think that if you are running because you are a threat to them or what, and maybe like they should also try to shoo you away, Yeah, so don't act hostile. I mean, don't just be calm with a dog.
Yeah.
I've had what do you think? I'm sure you've had a lot of patients also, right? Come in with their owners and the pet is actually like abused by their own owners. Do you have any of that?
So far, fortunately, I don't really deal with that kind of cases much. But usually what I've been dealing is that the rescuer brought in the abused dogs.
Are they strays?
Sorry?
Stray dogs.
Some are strays, some are
from another owner.
Yeah, from another owner.
Oh dear, that's the worst, right?
Yeah.
But so far you never had to deal with the owner itself that abused.
No.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, I think I'm fortunate not to see the owner that abusing the.
It'd be a very weird interaction for you, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to interact. I think I probably will chase him out or.
Yeah, like why are you still bringing the dog here?
Yeah.
The dog deserves a better owner. I feel like you hit your pet, right? It's similar to hitting your kid.
True.
But you know what? It's very normal to hit your kid in Asian culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we also nowadays we are smart enough to realize that you hit your kid or you don't hit your kid, it's not gonna necessarily mean that your kid is gonna turn up bad just because you don't hit it. Just like your dog, I had my husky last time, right? My dad would hit my husky, but the rest of us wouldn't do it. But my dad is just from a different generation, so I still remember he would. Because huskies, they are extremely playful when they're young.
Yeah,
okay, it's
very energetic, very playful.
Very, and the one thing that they love to do is they will start digging up holes in your garden. Most of them will dig up your garden. So every day my dad would scold him, telling don't dig, and he still does it. Then my dad would tie him on the leash. Oh, this sounds bad, pull him to the garden there and bring him to the spot where he where he dug the hole and used the slipper and hit him. I'm like thinking, the dog knows what he did is wrong. He's just naughty. He's just gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens when you bring the dog to? They rescue let's say any sort of pet lah. Okay. Do you guys handle the nursing like for months to come, or just like how does that process go?
Actually, it depends on the commitment of the rescuer or the owners.
Their relationship.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
So basically, for usually we will assume that the rescuer or the owner that brought in the pets in, whether it's theirs or rescued animals, we will advise them to really take care of them. I mean, to if once you are bringing them to the vet, you are aware of the commitments that you are going through.
Okay.
In months or years time to come. So basically, unless if the owner really or the rescuer really cannot afford it, then we will discuss what would be the best options.
Yeah.
For example, probably we can keep them for a few weeks, for example 1 or 2 weeks. Then you can please get an adopter for this cat, so that we cannot keep them like so a long time in the clinic, because we have like more other commitments.
All the
we have
time.
other so we cannot have that. We cannot like hoard the animals in our clinic.
I see. Yeah. So also at the same time, right, you would have a lot of scenarios where rescuers didn't realize that they're gonna be the owner of a new pet, that's beautiful also to see. They end up having to form a relationship with the pet. So what happens if y'all take care of the pet for 2 weeks and then cannot find an adopter?
It's either we keep them. Most of it ended that way. Most of the cats in our clinic, the residents' cat, are actually being dumped. Then in the end we have them as a part of the resident cats.
How many do you have resident cats?
Currently we have like 12.
Only 12?
But it's oh my god.
It's
they are monkeys, you know.
Yeah, of course. Wait, so at the same time, right, the reason why it's only 12 is because you are consistently looking for adopters, right?
Not really big. It's because whatever we have now is very hard for us to let them to be adopted, because we already sayang them, right? But
really?
But now
but there's so many.
Sometimes it's quite. It's not that burden, but then we have like very limited space.
Of course.
So sometimes we cannot take in anymore. So I have asked my staff, my team, please don't get in more cats. It's not because we don't love them. Yes, we can treat them and then just neuter them, vaccinate them, and then just let them out. They still can feed outside, right? So it's just that.
Let them out means let them on the streets.
I mean, in front of our clinic, we already like.
Oh, you also have another residence outside your clinic.
Yeah, we prepare some foods also for the cats outside. So it's just that don't attach to them much lah, because basically if you keep them inside, then it's very hard for them to go outside.
Yeah.
It's either we are very like sedih nak lepaskan balik, or the cat don't want to go out anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you guys really doing the Lord's work, helping out, like,
Peace.
You know, last time I had for one, I can't remember the reason why I put my dog in took the dog to the vet, right? I think he had skin problem. So the dog was left there for 1 week, and then they have to wear the cone, right? I remember that we went and visit him once. He was there for almost a week or a week. We went and visit him once only. When we showed up in the clinic, right, he didn't want to even look at us.
Merajuk.
Merajuk. And it's like he's so disappointed that we left him there. So I remember we went there and he just doesn't want to look at us. And then they tell us that they let the dogs walk around and all every day, right? They have to do that. But I don't know whether to believe the vet or not, because when the dog came back to my house, he couldn't walk for 2 hours like that. He couldn't walk. Put him on his feet, right? He can't walk. He just kept falling, like it's like jelly, his legs.
Oh.
Yeah, so it could be that the vet probably didn't let him out, I don't know. Okay, this is something I saw on your IG, right? You talked about rabies, right? So actually, what exactly is rabies? It's a very common disease from dogs that people know about, but I think a lot of people are uninformed of what it actually is.
Yeah, rabies is actually a viral infection caused by Lissa virus. Okay, it actually affects other mammals also, not just dogs, but
it can pass to
it can pass through to other mammals.
Humans?
Humans can be the mangsa lah, basically the end host. But people know that rabies related to dogs because usually the rabies cases that related to humans are due to dog bites. But it's not common in Malaysia except for Sarawak, because the location of Sarawak is like very near to Indonesia.
Okay.
So there's in and out wild dogs.
So it's very common in Indonesia for their stray dogs to have rabies.
Yeah. Indonesia, India, actually
okay.
it's quite common.
So
cases.
what about in Malaysia? The stray dogs is not very rare.
It's rare actually, because we can say that Malaysia is a rabies free country, especially in Semenanjung. So that's why we're very highlighting. Yes, we have to be careful, because we might not know, someone might bring dogs from other countries, especially Thailand, Indonesia, to Malaysia, that might have rabies.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so you have to actually know how actually rabid animals show symptoms.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
So how does it affect dogs as compared to humans?
Actually, the symptoms is more or less the same. You can see that the dogs will act like very weird, sometimes very aggressive suddenly.
But what is going on? What does the virus do to them?
The virus will travel into the nervous system, and it will attack the brain. That's causing the animals to act like very fractious, gila. That's why they call it as anjing gila, because of they will act like very not normal.
Yeah, their mental state is really basically their mental.
Yes,
okay.
You can see like very different lah from normal dogs.
So what is the cure for rabies for dogs?
There's no cure. Basically, they will die. They will die once they have show symptoms of these rabies symptoms.
How long will they be able to live from the moment they get?
From the moment they get the symptoms,
Yep.
it would be 7 to 10 days.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
even in humans too, because it actually have attacking or affecting the nerve in the brains. So basically, it will affect systemically.
Okay, and then I saw somewhere, I'm not sure if this is true, you can't drink water? You're allergic to water?
It's because it's very painful. Every time you want to swallow the water, it's very painful. It's due to the nerve action there.
Okay, so they just can't... Okay, oh my god. So even if humans get it, it's the same as...
Same.
1 week later... okay, so
True.
is it like, let's say if a dog has rabies and then he bites a human, a human will get it?
Yes, they will get it, but if you get immediate vaccination after being bitten, usually you still have chance to live longer lah. Yeah, but if you already show symptoms, then sorry.
You say they have chance to live longer, but they will still die eventually. Is it because there's
probably
no cure?
not due to rabies lah. It's due to other things. But
Okay.
if you have like get treatment earlier, immediately after you've been bitten, then usually you still have the chance to have symptoms, but it's very rare lah. Usually you can still have the chance to not to show symptoms and be protected with the vaccine that
if you take the vaccine as soon as possible.
Yeah,
basically.
you have to get that prophylactic.
So do you have patients with like rabies patient case?
So far, no. Fortunately, no. And I'm so glad we don't
Yeah,
deal
and
with that.
would your clinic even serve those type of patients? Since it's very contagious, right?
Yeah, usually if they show symptoms of rabies, then we will ask the owner to keep the dog at home, tie betul-betul.
Owner can't even go
monitor
near the dog, right? Should they even go near the dog?
Yeah, we cannot get like the saliva on us or get bitten. We cannot take the risk.
So how would a dog get rabies from? Probably another dog?
Yeah, they can get from another dog or other animals, for example, bats, foxes, skunk.
Okay.
Other wild animals also can bring rabies.
Okay, that's why let's say if it's house dog, letting them roam around is dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's good for them to get rabies vaccine because it's the best preventive.
Oh, is it normal for most dogs to have like a rabies vaccine?
It's not compulsory here, but then it's
A lot
good
of
to
them
have.
do it.
Yeah, it's good to have, especially for dogs that are very active, going outside. Yeah.
I can't remember if my dogs did. I know they took a couple of jabs. I can't remember what was it for. Let me ask you. I was talking with a child psychologist. about mental health. Then we were talking about animals also have mental health problems and all. Then we laugh, but actually it is true,
Yeah.
right? Can you speak on that? Like what, how it affects, or why they feel sad or depressed or whatever?
Basically, when we talk about mental health in animals, some people or most of the people will say,
They'll laugh.
really takkan lah kan, that kind of things. But they usually they can get stressed, they can get depressed. I think it's something that I think all creatures have that feelings.
Yeah, it's not only dogs, you know. So
even cats, even fish, probably they still have
animals.
feelings. Yeah.
So, for example, right, because I think a lot of people who are not animal lovers, right, when I tell them that the dog understands, right, or a cat understands what you're saying or whatever, sometimes they just laugh. I'm not saying that they can tell you what the definition of a word is, but they learn how to read the language, or maybe they're just reading your mouth, you know.
Yeah, sometimes I think the tone, the voice tone, our voice tone, actually, they can read that more instead of the wordings.
They can understand very well.
Yes.
I remember when, because I had some cousins in Australia, right? So when I was young, I noticed how they talk to their dog, like, and compare it to how I talk to my pet, right? Then I realized, like, oh, that's how you should talk to your dog. Talk to them like a human. So, of course, it seems like, oh, it's very stupid that you're talking to your pet like that, but they will learn. They will kind of learn, you know, not 100%, but yeah, it's eventually they will learn. They stay with you, they read patterns and all.
Yeah, that's why dogs can be trained, because they understand.
We were saying like how dogs can be depressed and stressed, right? I remember I had this. So I had a pug that was, I think he was about maybe 9 or 10. He died when he was 19, very old, right?
Wow.
Probably the Malaysia's oldest pug.
That's quite old. Yeah.
Very old, but it was very terrible at the last 5 years because we are so fortunate we have a helper. The helper looks after the pug the whole day. My helper would talk to my dogs the whole day, talk to them like they're humans. There was one time she said this to me, and I thought this was quite funny because she was talking about Philippines having bad haze pollution, right, because of forest fire. Then she was talking to me, and then she said, that's why I told Spike, right, that blah 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 blah. Like, Spike is my pug, you know. She's telling me that she told my pug about the forest fire. I'm like, what? Yeah, so she's that type that she really loved the dog so much she talked to them whole day, right? Their companion. That's also the reason why my dog managed to live for so long. He has someone there that's talking to her the whole day, even though he was blind and deaf completely the last 4 years.
Oh,
right? Yeah, so it's actually that situation. I think there is a very strong ethical argument to put the dog to sleep.
Yes.
A lot of owners also have to make the hard decision.
True.
We decided to let him live until Father Time took him. But yeah, it was so. What I remembered, we bought a brand new puppy husky. The pug was about maybe already an adult, 8-9 years old, right? So imagine being a pug staying with your owner for 10 years already, and then there's a husky that came in, right? There's going to be jealousy. There's going to be doubt, right? There's this younger, more agile, more intelligent, more handsome looking dog, right, in the house. And we are giving it a lot of attention. Of course, I would give my pug as much attention as possible. I really was very aware of that. But of course, the pug would still feel like, let's say, for example, this is very bad. But when I have friends come over all the time, right, they hated the pug because he was smelly and ugly. They love the husky. So all these type of things are the reasons why the pug feels very stressed and depressed. And then there was one period where, so my husky was about 2 years old. They're naughtiest around that age. He would bully my pug all the time. When we come back home from going for dinner with the family, he would be at the corner with my pug and then biting on his head, just bullying him. Of course, he's not gonna kill him or what. Yeah, because he's a house-grown pet, right? They're not violent or anything. So yeah, he would bully the pug, and then the pug is so sad, you just feel depressed. And there was one period of time where it was very weird for the pug. He, when they start having what do you call it, like
arthritis?
is it arthritis or where their skin disease? Or?
Oh, the
So they keep biting themselves as well.
Okay, all right.
A lot of that.
Skin disease.
Why do they get that? A lot of it is due to stress, is it?
Stress can contribute to
Or make it enhance it.
Yeah, it can trigger.
So he was getting like all these like patches everywhere. You know, then you have to wear the cone right on your head, and it was funny. The pug was acting very weird. You know, doing things like he would never usually do. For example, come upstairs to the first floor of the house. He's not allowed. He would never come upstairs. So he started acting weird, coming upstairs for. There was 1 week where he kept doing that, coming upstairs, and then he was at his worst period, like very sick, very weak, patches everywhere. Had to take him to see the doctor. The vet came over a few times, you know, to check on him. Then couple of months later, he recovered fully. And I remember the vet came over and tell us that he was so surprised. He thought that my pug was going to die anytime really. He didn't want to let us know that he was going to die, but he said there was just too much stress, you know. Eventually, you know, the pug and husky became friends because he got older, you know, more mature. Yeah. But you ever had cases like that where you have a patient, a dog perhaps, is under a lot of stress because of a newer puppy?
Yeah, actually not only dogs, cats also have that kind of issues. Basically because of jealousy, the territorial behavior. So that kind of things, they actually can get stressed.
What happens what type of symptoms did they get that their owner would have to bring them to the vet?
Usually if they're not eating and then losing weight like quite sudden, and then changing in behavior, for example, peeing everywhere, pooing everywhere. So it's more to behavior changes lah. So usually there's things that you have to do. Sometimes you have to get some consultation what to do with the dog, or probably some things that need to be changes in the environment to meet the dog's condition.
Oh, okay. So let's say what sort of advice can you give to owners, right, who have an existing dog or cat at home for 3, 4, 5 years, and then they want to buy a brand new puppy or kitten?
Usually, yes, you can have new family members in the house, but of course, please do not ignore, or probably you have to give more attention to the current one, so that they won't be feel being left out lah. Because usually they feel like that. That's why they're so sad, and they feel very left out. So you have to let them know, okay, hi sayang, I'm going to have a new member for our family. Don't worry, I'll still love you. You can just say like that. You can just talk like that.
You literally talk like that, right?
Yeah, and then
I talk
every
like
time, every time when you go home, for example, you have to approach the current one first. The current one.
Yes, they see this. They notice those type of things.
Yeah, so that they understand that I'm still being loved like that. So and then let them know, okay, now I love you so much. I'm going to pet your adik now, okay? Okay, that kind of things.
Yeah, but that is brilliant how you worded it. If I'm very sure if you actually do that right all the time, if you actually do that to your more, what do you call it, the pet that's been there longer, right, longer time. Being there first, the pet will be very happy and satisfied.
Yes,
you know.
Yes.
Actually, really, it also depends on the other breed. You know, maybe like for my case, right, it was a pug and a husky. Right? Husky is so territorial, so aggressive, and I always found it so funny because the pug is literally, he looks stupid. He is probably not as intelligent, and you know, it's the complete opposite. The husky that he has to deal with, so he probably felt a lot of stress and all.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Ima, I want to ask about setting up your business. I'm sure it's not easy setting up your veterinarian clinic. How many years has it been? And which came first?
The Serv-U Veterinary Clinic came first in 2014.
Yep.
2014?
Yep, 9 years ago.
Yeah, and then the Trio 1.5 year later.
Which one is in Kota Kemuning?
Kota
the
Kemuning,
Serv-U. Serv-U, sorry. I keep saying Serv to you because of the IG.
Yeah. Serv-U, yeah.
Okay, and then Trio Vets, when did it launch?
2015, 2016.
Oh, not long after.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both those clinics, there's only one branch, right?
Yeah, both
Okay.
only one branch.
Do you feel like you're gonna be opening a new one anytime soon?
I don't think so. For this time being, no. But I'm planning to improve improve in terms of services. Probably add in more machines, that kind of things.
So veterinarian medicine, right, I'm very sure over the last 10 years since you started until now, what's new? Like what sort of new treatments do they have, or something that has came up, or that you guys actually are that you have as a service?
Yeah, actually, there's a lot in terms of new machines, new technologies that has been applied. For example, it has been like applied in human medicine, but now it has been applied in animal medicine too. So, for example, like laser machines, that kind of things. So we
Laser
have
for
for treatment for
like skin disease, is
yeah,
it?
skin disease, for inflammatory diseases,
Okay.
and then for surgeries too.
10 years ago, it wasn't common to have all this
Still
technology.
got, but not so famous lah. But nowadays it seems like it's very helpful for the industry, and then it gain confidence in our clients to actually have that kind of services.
You know, it really reminds me of like just us, right? Aesthetic clinics, right?
Yeah.
For people who wanna, they wanna look a little younger, they wanna touch up everywhere. 10 years ago is the same, there's not so common, and now it's just laser machines in every aesthetic
true.
clinics. Yeah, okay. So starting out lah, wait, Serv-U and Triovets, right? How many staffs do you guys have?
In Serv-U, I have about 11. Trio, I have about 7.
I know it's tough. What was the hardest part of just launching the business?
The hardest part is to maintain it.
Not the launching part, you're saying the maintaining the business.
Maintaining it. To launch, you can start very small. You can start at whatever cost you have. You can start very minimum setup.
Yep.
But then how actually you want to maintain it, how actually you want to gain your customers' trust, how you actually you are going to keep your good stuff. Yeah, it's very difficult.
Your good stuff. It's not exactly, I guess it's so different than let's say if I'm an accountant. You're in an accounting firm. You can pretty much say, you hear this term all the time in corporate, you're very replaceable.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way in the medicine field.
Yeah, but to me, we really have to have a good one, because of it's not easy in handling the animals, in handling the clients, and then it requires like very experience in hands-on, and then it's sometimes if you want to get like a new staff or to recruit new workers,
it's gonna take a long time.
Yeah, and then we have to like train them. Yeah, so it takes time lah.
And really, I would assume the numbers. Do you have a rough figure? Any idea of like how many legal vets there are in Malaysia?
In Malaysia?
Yeah.
Currently lah, I think I can say we have like about
Wait, let
more
me guess.
than
2,000.
Around that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
2,000 is a lot, Actually, now I think about it, it's a lot.
Because we have like different. It's not in clinics sahaja. We have like any other industries. We have like in Department of Veterinary Services. We have also vets there. We have in poultry industry. So basically, if you say 2,000 in small animal clinics only, it might see like a lot lah.
For example, there's plenty of farms, right? Animal farms. They have to have a couple of vets at least,
supposedly they
right?
have to have vets
Yeah,
there.
because there's so many animals.
True.
I spoke with Dr. Katiana, child psychologist. So, you want to take a guess how many child psychologists there are in Malaysia?
In Malaysia?
Yeah.
Child psychologist alone,
Not psychologist, child psychologist.
500?
Oh dear. There's 10.
Really?
Yeah, that is child psychologists.
Only
Those
10?
that specialize in
Child psychologist.
yes, and also child psychologists also means that you treat patients up till 18, right? They still consider that child. Psychologists itself, right, in general, is 50. It's
not much.
It's so little. And of course, most of them are in KL, if not all.
Yeah.
But when she told me that, I'm like, what? 50? Like, yeah.
Oh, so little, We need more psychologists.
Yeah. I want to ask, how many pet psychologists don't have, right?
In Malaysia, we don't
Don't
really have lah.
But that's a profession. In other
in
countries,
other
there
countries,
is.
yes, they have like animal behaviorist, animal psychologist, which is very interesting. I mean, to me, if I have the gut to continue my study, I'm going to that area lah.
Oh,
It's either
dear.
psychologist,
Yeah.
behaviorist, or
So
exotic animal medicine.
Wow, it would be very interesting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's really like the next level, understanding their instincts and their thoughts
True,
and all.
true.
Okay.
I think it's important to understand the feelings of our patients, because our patients cannot talk. They cannot express themselves like very clearly like we as human can do, kan? So that's why it's very important for us to understand their body languages, how actually they react, the symptoms. That's why sometimes it's very important for the owner also to let us know the histories, what are the findings that you see at home, because it's very important.
Yeah. It's very, very similar to humans. But like we just talked about, if you have, like you're shocked that there's only 50 psychologists, right? Then I guess it's not surprising that there's no animal psychologists, because we're behind. I would say the word is behind, and I think that there would be in the future.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there will be animal psychologists. But it's still something that people laugh at right now.
Yeah, people might laugh.
They
but
will laugh.
yeah,
Most people will
yeah,
laugh. They think that you're crazy.
Even now also we said that, probably your cat is under stress. Gelak lah. Kata,
Yeah, they're like,
why,
where got stress?
why
Every day
got
stay at
stress?
home.
You didn't work. You just eat, sleep, then you stress. I think so.
But what is their world? So one thing I realized from having, I had my husky passed away after 3 years. He fell into the pond, and then this is the pond down there, and then drowned because of, how most dogs are scared of thunder, right?
Yeah.
So we have a barrier, not a barrier, it's just a gate, small gate about maybe 3 feet tall, right? 3 or 4 feet tall, not that high up, 3 feet. He tried to jump over, and the gate is right next to the pond. So the gate divides the backyard and the front yard. So he tried to jump over and he fell inside. I mean, we didn't even bother looking at the CCTV, saw his dead body floating. It's just no point seeing the CCTV, very sad. What's funny is I was the closest to the dog, right? I didn't dare to touch the dog, man. Like the body. Just okay. I think this is so very this is very interesting. Do you handle euthanasia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it I guess it should be common, right?
Yep. It's common.
So you are gonna be, I would assume that there's a lot of emotional baggage that comes with that service. How do you deal with that, or how did you get used to it and all?
Initially, it's not easy. I can tell you, it's very sad. I think sometimes it's
Sorry
very
to
burden.
interrupt. Like in vet school, did you guys have to ever do that?
Yes.
In vet school, you already have done that before.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about it.
Initially, it's not fun at all. It's sad.
Sure.
Yeah, because it's very burden to us. Every time we have to, because our aim is to treat them, make them feel better. But then if at one point you have to euthanize them for certain reasons, although it's for the best.
It is.
I mean, it's something to stop the suffering, or if the condition is very bad, and then the owner also unable to take good care of them towards the end of the life. So basically, it's the best option would be euthanasia.
Yep.
And in my early years as a vet, every time I did euthanasia, I will cry like hell. I will cry, and then I would say that I'm not going to do it anymore. At that moment,
You make your staff do it, huh?
no, because because basically the vets have to do it. The vets.
How many vets are there in your clinic?
During my time, I'm the only one.
Right now?
Right now, I have 3.
In
And in
which
Trio, I have
clinic?
2.
Okay, Serv-U.
Serv-U, I have
3
3.
and 2.
2,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. It's 3 and 2. Okay. Not. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So and then as the time passed by, and we understand that it's emotionally disturbing.
But someone has to do it, right?
Yeah, but that's our function lah. I mean, the aim is not we're going to suffer them. It's not that we're doing like
It's not your
abusing
choice.
them. Yeah. So at one point then we have to lah.
Yeah. Have you ever had owners that want to put their dog down who is not near to like death because of old age or any sort of sickness? Like they just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, we
So
have.
what do you tell them?
But usually we don't do that because
You've actually had more than one, I guess, that say that. Well,
I have clients that asking me to euthanize their dog because they can't afford to take care of the dog because it's expensive. One, another one.
I've heard.
Then
That's
at
quite
first,
crazy,
you have the plan to have the dog, right?
Yeah.
So the second one is that my dog has like
even a couple of months old, and maybe their kids don't want to play with the dog anymore. No one want to take care, and then they want to. You've had like young dogs that they want to put down.
Usually young dogs no lah. Young I have been dealing with is like 5-6 years old. Yeah, that one
makes you question what sort of relationship they've had, right? Up till then.
Yeah, because I know you have been taking care of him for 5 to 6 years. Takkan you tak rasa sayang? Takkan you tak rasa macam have the gut to actually have the heart to euthanize them. So
to even say it to a vet, I'm just thinking to even say it to a vet, like they're not aware of how. First of all, right, the most obvious option is try your best to find another doctor.
Yeah,
That's first option already. You have to do that.
True.
I don't know. Maybe the person didn't even try. It's just,
I think so. I think they would just want to make it short lah, make it fast. Yeah. So basically, I just say we don't do that kind of things. It's against our ethics. And it's against my principle. So
completely healthy dog, right?
Yeah, completely healthy dog. Because basically, we will ask, what's the purpose of you want to euthanize your dog? If it's sick, then I'll check first. I do some general checkups whether it suits. I mean, to me, whether it's need to be euthanized or not. But if he's healthy, then why should I? I'm not a killer. So
what's the response?
So basically, it's okay, doctor. I just find another doctor lah.
Find another. You think there's doctors?
No, I don't think so. Probably, I don't know whether they will dump the dog to or surrender it to shelter. I'm not so sure because basically, I just don't want to see the owner's face lah. Basically.
Yeah. Wow. I tell you, if there's actually vets that do it, is it illegal? Like, or is it a choice from the doctor?
It depends on the doctor.
It's
also.
a choice,
but basically, we have taken our oath during our study.
I see.
So it's not our job to do that.
Okay, so it's not legal, but it's something that as someone who's already a professional, should have never be able to do. But I guess in this world we live in, right, there's gonna be some dirty doctors or what that they want the money because there is a fee, right, when you do that service.
I can't deny that actually, but I hope I won't see that kind of doctor in front of me.
There's doctors that know that if they keep on providing their service, it will be like prescribing drugs. They know that it's at their detriment. There's a lot of doctors that would still do it. So you never know.
Yes, true. You never know.
Some owners decide to neuter their pets, at a very young age. Some decide to do it when they're a bit older. What is the pros and cons? When should you decide, or or why should you decide whether or not to neuter or not? Or spay, right? The same thing.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, me as a vet, basically, I would advise to do it as early as possible. If you don't have the intention.
How old is the earliest that is?
Nowadays, actually, you can do like 4 months.
4 months? Wow, haven't even matured fully.
Yeah,
right?
actually can be done.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, especially in the shelter, they have been practicing this quite a lot, and it's okay. Nothing.
Both female and male. 4 months is okay.
4 months is okay. Even they have been doing it as early as 3 months old, but it's very small. It's quite difficult.
Okay.
But to me, it's you have to be very experienced to do that lah.
Okay.
But usually, traditionally, we advise to do it at 5 or 6 months before they reach their puberty age.
Okay.
This
early is better.
Yeah, early is better. It's because of the earlier we do it, the lesser chances of unwanted birth, unwanted pregnancy.
Yep.
Okay, and the more that we can control the problem of overpopulation in our country lah. Basically, some people would say, oh, doctor, accident lah, I tak sempat nak neuter. They get pregnant already because of it's a bit late lah. Because usually cats, especially, they will reach their maturity or puberty at the age of 5 to 6 months.
Yep.
They can able to give birth already, can get pregnant and give birth.
What if you have a dog, right, that you don't intend on letting it socialize freely, you know? Would you advise to get the dog neutered, or is there no need for it?
Actually, yes, I would advise to get them neutered because of, or else they will get stressed if they have reached their puberty age. They will
Basically, they have this type of urges and whatever.
Yeah, true. They go into heat and then they have the tendency to get stressed and
they start humping everything.
True.
But there's another argument, right? I'm not sure whether this is true. They say that let's say if you neuter the dog, right, they lose some of their energy. Is there any truth to that? Or they are a bit more depressed or low energy all the time? Is that true, or does it happen?
I think it's not more to energy. I think it's more to the hormonal changes lah, because it's related to the hormones. But basically, it's the studies have made, it's more to the alteration of the metabolic rate. Usually after the neutering, they have like lower metabolic rate, and they have the tendency to get obese or overweight after the neutering. If the diet is not controlled. Yeah, in terms of emotional, not much changes. Basically, they are more calm. They will be more calm.
More chill.
Basically, but of course it doesn't apply to all. So mostly, yes.
Some is like nothing happened. They're still as crazy.
Yes.
Okay. Well. Okay. Because that's the biggest argument I hear. They say like it kind of takes like the life out of the dog and all. It's not true.
No, not true.
Okay.
Yes, and then it's important because of many diseases can be prevented if we neuter like earlier. For example, like breast cancer in female dogs and cats.
I see.
Yeah. And
or
then
ovary
diseases,
cancer also.
ovarian cancer, breast cancer, and then for male, prostate cancer, testicle cancers, or diseases that can be transmitted through sexual intercourse, kan? Yeah, and then things that can be transmitted through bites and fight, especially for male dogs and cats. If they're not neutered, they have the tendency of being territorial and aggressive, and they have the tendency to bite and fight, so they can transmit diseases. For example, in cats, they have like feline AIDS or feline immunodeficiency virus, which can affect the health of the cats.
What would you say if someone were to argue back and say like, but that's because that's a more natural way of, that's how they're supposed to be, more natural, for them to be maybe a bit more aggressive sometimes, or have this sort of urges and instincts. Like what would you say to that?
I would say that why would you choose things that give more harm instead of something that we can have more benefit? For example, if you neuter, and then you can prevent fight, and you can prevent diseases. And you can like save lots of money instead of treating them.
Yeah. Whereas on the other side, the person is thinking that okay, maybe I want to let my dog be natural, be themselves natural. I don't know. So you would say that every pet owner should consider.
Yes,
not consider. Because it's not a must.
Yeah, it's not a must, but it should consider because we are looking at things that benefit
okay
them more.
Can it go like apart from the fact that they might already get pregnant or impregnate some other animal if you neuter at a later age? What are the other cons of doing it later on? Is there other cons? More risk perhaps, or what in the...
Yeah, if we do it at the later age, for example, if the dog or cat is already 7 or 8 years old, so the risk of anesthesia is higher. So sometimes they might die on the table because of the current underlying disease that they already have. For example, kidney diseases, heart diseases, that kind of things.
Okay.
Yep.
More disease prone.
Yes.
Okay.
More disease prone.
All right. Okay, we reached the end of the podcast. Dr. Ima, this question I've been asking to most of my guests. What advice would you give to young veterinarian students or people who perhaps want to pursue vet school, have not actually started yet?
Okay. So my advice would be, you really have to be patient in this job. Okay, you have to, it's not just love, it's not just you have to love the animals, but you have to understand your responsibility. It's not about taking care of them, it's about taking care of the universe too, which means you have to really educate the public instead of our natural job, which is the vet to treat the animals. But nowadays it's very important to educate the public, in terms of what is our responsibility as human. That's the most important thing. How actually we have compassionate towards these other creatures, especially the animals, and how actually we have to understand the coexisting of these animals as part of our universe.
Yep. I mean, definitely agree. Being experts of these animals, right? You are going to be someone that people would listen to rather than just, let's say, for example, just a conservationist, right? They would so much rather, or it's more effective coming from a vet doing their best to educate the public. Who else is going to do it, or who else better to do it? Yeah. Okay, Dr. Ima, advice to 18-year-old Dr. Ima, yourself.
Me as 18 years old? I don't know what to advise myself.
No, there's a lot of advice I'm sure you can take.
Okay. Me, 18 years old me.
Yeah, just one advice. I know there's plenty.
Yeah. Just keep going. Keep going. Just trust yourself. And do whatever you want to do, because you will reach that time that you will be satisfied of everything that you want.
Okay, lovely, brilliant. Okay, guys, we have reached the end of the episode. I think we've done just about an hour and a half, or probably even longer. But yeah, anyways, if you guys reached till this point, you spent more than 90 minutes of your life listening to this podcast, do me a favor. I'm sure it wouldn't be hard for you to hit the subscribe button, like button, leave a comment, your thoughts, suggestions, make friends in the comments. Who you want to see in the next podcast, your thoughts about this episode. I would try my best to reply everyone. Guys, we have Dr. Ima today, vet from, she's a professional veterinarian, Serv-U Clinic and Triovets Clinic. She's the owner. And Dr. Ima, it was great having you on. Would love to have you on again next time.
Inshallah, yes, please, anytime. Just let me
lovely,
know.
Lovely. There's a lot of things that we can talk about.
Yes.
Okay, last thing, Dr. Ima. I'm someone who says to you, oh, you're a Muslim, but then you still touch dogs. What's your response? I'm sure you said it many times.
Yeah, it's I take it as my responsibility as a veterinarian, even as a Muslim also. It's something that is recommended by our religion, even other religions also, to be kind to animals, to be kind to other creatures. Don't harm them. If you don't like, if you're afraid of them, or even if you don't like any animals, just don't harm them. That's the point.
Lovely. Yeah. Guys, give it up for Dr. Ima, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ryan.
Okay, all good.
Missing my homies, I'm missing my oldies, my brothers, my cronies. We all went to court, but before only courts that we knew were the ones where we were shooting dice, selling Kobe. To a legend, rest in peace to the old me, rest in peace to my brothers, rest in peace to my whole team. The oldest, I'm missing my shawty.